If you're walking down the right path and you're willing to keep walking, eventually you will make progress. A quote there from US President Barack Obama. Hi there, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. On today's show, we'll look at some important economic growth-inducing activities of the government as it continues to lead the country on a path to progress. Plus, beyond just facilitating charity, organizations of aid are getting the tools to become effective social entrepreneurs. And the Ministry of Water, Land, Environment and Climate Change, getting water to the people. Sit back and relax as these and much more unfold in this half hour. Stay with us.
A healthy and educated people living in a clean, natural environment, reducing crime, improving the justice system and governance, building a prosperous economy. It's not just a vision, it's reality. Learn about the plan. Join the vision.
My country, Jamaica, has a rich heritage and is very unique. If we all pull together, we can make it the place of choice to live, work, raise family, and to do business.
For more information on Vision 2030, call the Planning Institute of Jamaica or visit vision2030.gov.jm, your parish library, school library, or the Jamaica Information Service.
Industry development geared towards export forms a major part of the government's sustainable economic growth strategy. Investments in the agricultural sector have been reaping positive results, and one of the many areas is the lucrative West Indian Sea Island cotton industry. Take a look. The country is on a growth path, and that means the government is busy facilitating and implementing programs to empower individuals through sustainable business opportunities.
I started out as an investigating scientist. I'm a part of a joint venture with the Jamaica Agricultural Development Foundation and the University of the West Indies, where I conducted research to localize the techniques of growing cotton in Jamaica. And from that I obtained an MPhil degree. I moved over into a pilot commercial project. Then soon after, I became a full commercial contracted farmer with the Jamaica Agricultural Development Foundation.
Otis Francis is one of 3 farmers now operating a combined 300 acres of cotton farms in St. Mary and St. Catherine. These farms specialize in premium West Indian Sea Island cotton. Through bilateral partnership between the Jamaica Agricultural Development Foundation and the government of Japan, $11 million was spent to revive the sector. Well-needed equipment such as high crop tractor, a boom sprayer and inter-row cultivator were purchased in 2014 to drive production, and today the success is evident.
We have reaped or harvested a total of 41,000 pounds of seed cotton to date. That translates into 8,500 pounds of lint. The first positive impact that the equipment will have is the speed at which you can get things done. The speed and the ease. Also, with mechanization, we find that the cost to undertake certain activities is lowered.
Cotton reaped from this field in Old Harbour, St. Catherine will be exported to Venezuela, and the estimated earnings is 9 million Jamaican dollars. This is just a fraction of the potential foreign exchange earning of $1 billion for the country.
West Indian Sea Island cotton presents an immense opportunity for Jamaica to increase foreign exchange earnings and thereby positively impact the economy.
The rejuvenation of the West Indian Sea Island cotton industry also presents other economic opportunities. When the seeds are separated from the cotton, it can be integrated into animal feed.
The seed is very high in protein content, and actually it's being looked at to be incorporated as cattle feed, and that process is actually a reality right now.
And the sustainability factor of the industry is also looking good.
One most important thing is that we have an accessible and reliable labor force within the environment, it is good in the sense that 8 months out of the year there's practically job available to the otherwise unemployed.
Approximately 200 persons are currently employed on the farms in St. Catherine and close to that figure in St. Mary. And the workers are playing their part to ensure that the sector remains viable.
Well, me is the man where spray, plow land, cut furrow, plant, mechanic work on the tractor, also the machine and everything. So from those things all right, cotton must go on.
And with continued support through the government's economic programs, the sector is expected to grow from the current 300 acres to 800 within the 2015-2016 crop year. The long-term target is 5,000 acres by 2017. But even better, Mr. Francis has his own aspiration for his farm.
For next crop, we're looking to at least double the acreages. The current acreage is being grown now, which should move us up to 600 acres. The vision for this farm is to have most of the steps prior to harvesting mechanized.
Through smart spending by the government, pockets of businesses are coming on stream. Foreign exchange earnings are increasing with new overseas investment opportunities. And most of all, jobs are being created.
We want a productive Jamaica. We are not productive Jamaicans. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity is the way to go for all us Jamaicans. Small business, big business, old and young, we are tell every woman and man. We want growth and prosperity for a better nation with a building plan. So we can build our product and sell our product and put more money in our hand. Our economy can rise to a level and build a better nation. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity.
Productivity, pathway to prosperity. A message brought to you by the Jamaica Productivity Center, a department of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Social enterprise is an emerging business model that seeks to impact the lives of people in need through income-generating activities that create positive changes within communities. Jamaica hosted the first Social Enterprise Summit in January to equip social entrepreneurs with the necessary tools to create a more sustainable profit base. Watch this.
The face of business the world over is changing. One of the emerging approaches is the use of business solutions to resolve social problems. Thus, the creation of the social enterprise business model, which encourages the social sector and others to identify innovative ways to become financially sustainable. To support and formalize the operations of social enterprises operating in Jamaica, the Jamaica National Foundation teamed up with the United States Agency for International Development. Together, they launched the Social Enterprise Boost Initiative, SEBI. In January 2015, SEBI hosted the first Social Enterprise Summit and Marketplace, bringing together local and international practitioners, government, not-for-profits, social enterprises, the private sector, academics, and business enthusiasts. The framework for the summit was laid by highlighting the importance of social enterprises for the growth of any economy.
Social enterprises are an integral part of the wider entrepreneurship ecosystem and plays a vital role in the delivery of products and services to communities that are socially disadvantaged. Social enterprises are able to harness the creative spirit and the volunteerism that is latent in our society and which can be channeled towards positive social purposes, creating value and addressing myriads of problems threatening to the quality of life in the society.
Social enterprises are one vital source of a business approach to fair trade, social inclusion, community regeneration, creation of jobs for individuals and groups marginalized in labor markets.
There can be no denying that social enterprises account for a significant part of the GDP of Jamaica. And it is important that it be determined precisely so that it can be encouraged to grow and to thrive through directed public policy.
The information presented took the audience from start to finish.
How do we build effective social enterprises, and effective in itself has a meaning? It is anchored in how do you meaningfully create social value in a sustainable way, and how do you monitor and evaluate the creation of the social value and monetize that creation of social value, which I think is very important. Very clear mission. Yes, very clear mission. But you need that independent income source. Hence, trade is crucial.
I don't believe any social entrepreneur really achieves anything without the support of his or her community. And one thing in social enterprise you need to learn is that, like in business, failure is part of the process. You're not Midas. Not that everything you touch is going to turn to gold. When things fail, you don't just have to kind of close it all down and move somewhere else. Sometimes you just have to shift the business model.
Peter Holbrook also addressed the pitfalls to establishing a social enterprise, which includes being an opportunist, embracing diversity, and finding the right people for the right job. Transparency is also a critical tool for social enterprises.
If you are doing good work, should be willing, should be eager for people to shine a light into what you're doing and how you operate, and to show that you are actually in this for the common good and not for individual gain.
Participants were encouraged to stay focused.
It's never a problem to grow as a social enterprise. In order to be sustaining, you have to be growing.
It is difficult, but you have to be out there because you're having to talk to people and open other opportunities up.
Safri Brown, General Manager at JNBS Foundation, reminded the participants that to create an environment conducive to the sustainability of social enterprises, business readiness, networking, financing, and having a relationship with the marketplace are vital.
For the enabling environment, we have to attract the best of the best. We then have to look at the people that we serve and how we train them up. Here we look at best practice and knowledge sharing. This is where you'll get your encouragement, your support, your inspiration, and your know-how.
Participants were invited to visit the marketplace, where they could learn, sample, and buy products and services from local social enterprises. The social enterprise movement requires active involvement, and the Social Enterprise Summit and Marketplace provided a fertile space for practitioners, entrepreneurs, and stakeholders to create the framework which will drive the social economy. Join the movement that's generating an immense impact by networking through SEBI's social media channels, sebijm.com, on Facebook /SEBIJM, via Twitter @SEBIJM, or Instagram, instagram.com /SEBIJM.
Parents, make sure the children get immunized. Hear this! Immunization, it is a must. This is not a joke thing, this you can trust. It is required by law for entry to nursery, to daycare and to schools. Listen up, it is necessary to prevent diseases such as the measles, the poliomyelitis, the lockjaw and the whooping cough. Immunize your kids, keep them healthy, keep them strong. Prevent deadly diseases such as mumps, rubella and diphtheria. Immunize your child today. Immunization, a key to good health.
A message from the Ministry of Health and PAHO.
In line with Jamaica's long-term development goals, the Ministry of Water, Land, Environment and Climate Change is working to provide universal access to potable water for all Jamaicans by 2020. And in the past fiscal year, work towards this end gathered momentum. Take a look.
As we work to improve the delivery of drinking water across Jamaica, we will be even closer to achieving what we call our Vision 2030 goal.
In the 2014-2015 fiscal year, that work has brought potable water to thousands of Jamaicans in communities right across the island.
The rainwater harvesting system is a welcome investment and is expected to alleviate the water challenges that you have experienced in the past.
That was in June 2014 when Minister Pickersgill commissioned the $27 million Gibraltar rainwater harvesting system into service. The project provided more than 700 residents in Gibraltar and other areas in St. Catherine with a source of potable water for domestic, agricultural and commercial activities.
I'm confident that this project will add to the productivity of your communities. This in turn will help to increase employment opportunities and development within your communities.
The new water system, we appreciate it very much, and it done a lot to us because plenty of us wasn't getting the water rightly, and now that we are getting it good now, so we are very thankful for it.
Alma is just one of more than 3,000 residents benefiting from the upgraded Burnt Savannah Knoxwood water supply system. It was commissioned into service in October 2014 after $59.6 million in upgrading works. The Port C rainwater catchment tank in St. Elizabeth was also refurbished in late 2014. Extensive repairs were done to the concrete catchment area, the fencing and wall footing, while 800 meters of pipes were laid and a concrete covering built for the tank.
Everywhere I go in this country, no matter whether the parish is traditionally dry or experiences above average rainfall, I tell residents that we must return to rainwater harvesting as one method of ensuring our water security in the face of increasing and intensifying droughts, which are one of the impacts of climate change. I welcome the rehabilitation of this rainwater harvesting tank in Port C as an important addition to the climate change adaptation initiatives that are being pursued elsewhere in the island.
At least 1,500 residents in southern St. Elizabeth now have greater access to potable water due to the upgrading of the Port C tank, which has the capacity to store 270,000 gallons of water. Others are benefiting from the similarly upgraded Rose Hall rainwater catchment tank in the parish. Over in Westmoreland, more than 5,000 residents are now receiving regular water supply after the commissioning of the Barneyside tank. The 40-odd-year-old storage tank was refurbished at a cost of $4.3 million to store 150,000 gallons of water. In February 2015, meanwhile, improved service came for residents served by the Martha Brae treatment plant in Trelawney after it was rehabilitated and a supporting facility constructed. It can provide a total of 11 million gallons of water per day. Almost 200,000 residents are benefiting.
While the NWC is not the only water provider, it is estimated that it now provides water to more than 70% of the population of Trelawney. This is indeed a significant improvement over the previous decade.
Significant improvement also came for Ewerton and Mount Rossa residents in St. Catherine after the rehabilitation of the Mount Rossa distribution pipeline and repairs to the Mount Rossa and Ewerton reservoirs.
The project also undertook the installation of 1,500 meters, including the infrastructure to enable legal connections for persons who were previously obtaining water illegally.
Over 6,000 residents are now able to get potable water as a result of the $460 million project. And in March, the last month of the fiscal year, the Clarkstown Water Supply Pipeline Replacement Project was officially commissioned into service. Other work was done in the 2014-2015 fiscal year to bring water to Jamaicans. These included the $1.83 billion Port Antonio Water Sewerage and Drainage Project. While touring in January 2015, the Water Minister said residents and businesses should soon be able to enjoy the full benefits of that project.
Work on the project has been substantially completed. 18 kilometers or 100% of the pipelines have been laid and commissioned into service.
Meanwhile, in 2014, the NWC signed a $1 billion contract to build the artificial groundwater recharge system for the Rio Cobre hydrological basin in the Innswood area of St. Catherine. The work includes building a raw water treatment facility with the capacity to treat 8 million gallons of water per day, generally increasing groundwater quantity and quality.
This aquifer recharge project is absolutely vital to the water security of St. Catherine and to the Kingston metropolitan area.
And work continued on the $12.6 million Lucy pipeline replacement and non-revenue water reduction project. It will facilitate improved water flow from the Great River Treatment Plant to all the areas along the corridor leading into Negril. When the 2015-2016 estimates of expenditure was tabled in Parliament on February 19, it revealed an allocation of approximately $835.74 million to maintain and upgrade Jamaica's water supply system. That means more scenes like those played out in fiscal year 2014-2015. It means even more will be done to upgrade the access to potable water for all Jamaicans.
On the board this week, Jamaica Pentecostal Church of God wants you to join them for their national convention. Their convention, which started on Wednesday, April 8, runs until Sunday, April 12 at Mispa in the parish of Manchester. Come celebrate 60 years of ministering with the Jamaica Pentecostal Church of God under the theme, Transcending Boundaries by God's Grace. The Northern Caribbean University Department of Communication Studies will be staging its 6th annual Lignum Vitae Film Festival on Sunday, April 12 on the main campus. The festival to showcase creativity through film will start at 6 p.m. Universities, secondary institutions, independent filmmakers and other persons within Jamaica and the Caribbean not classified as professionals are invited to participate. Categories this year are short film 10 minutes, silent film 5 to 7 minutes, animation 5 minutes, trailers 90 seconds, and mobile film created with a smartphone or tablet 720 pixel or more in definition and 3 minutes in length. For further details, call 963-7445, 963-7810 or send an email to dcs@ncu.edu.jm. The Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, JCDC, is now accepting entries for the 2015 Jamaica Creative Writing Competition. Professional and amateur writers are to submit their entries in 3 classes: junior under 12, intermediate under 17, and adult age 18 and older, in areas such as poems, essays, short stories, plays, and novels. Entry forms are available on the JCDC website, www.jcdc.gov.jm, at its head office 3-5 Phoenix Avenue, Kingston 10, and all JCDC parish offices island-wide. Entries must be sent by email to library@jcdcj.gov.jm, then 3 hard copies along with the completed entry form are to be submitted to any JCDC office. The deadline for entry is Thursday, April 30. Send us your events for broadcast on the JIS Community Notice Board. Call 922-86802 or send an email to cbishop@jis.gov.jm.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. U.S. President Barack Obama arrived in Jamaica Wednesday night for a highly anticipated and historic visit to the island, the second by a sitting U.S. president since independence in 1962. After making a quick visit to the Bob Marley Museum shortly after his arrival, President Obama began his official engagements Thursday morning with a bilateral meeting with Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller. Among other issues, they addressed the need to reduce energy costs for Jamaicans and the rest of the Caribbean.
And if we can lower those costs through the development of clean energy and increased energy efficiency, we could unleash, I think, a whole host of additional investment and growth. And I think there are going to be a whole host of areas where the United States can be helpful.
Mr. Obama also commended Jamaica's economic reform program and positive performance under the IMF Extended Fund Facility.
As Jamaica builds on the gains made so far under the program, with the fund, we recognize that we renew our commitment to the economic reform program going forward.
Later at a U.S. CARICOM summit, the American president announced a new clean energy fund to mobilize private investments in clean energy projects for the Caribbean and Central America.
Our Caribbean Energy Security Initiative aims to help move the region toward cleaner, more affordable energy.
Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller, meanwhile, commended the latest developments regarding U.S. relations with Cuba.
We are encouraged by your engagement and dialogue.
President Obama later chaired a town hall meeting with regional youth and announced a $68 million investment in education, training and employment programs for young people from Latin America and the Caribbean. He also launched the Young Leaders of America's initiative to provide entrepreneurs and civil society leaders with access to research material, training, resources, networks and capital through established linkages.
So this year we'll bring 24 entrepreneurs and civil society leaders from Latin America and the Caribbean, including young Cuban leaders, to the United States. Then next year we'll increase this fellowship to 250 young leaders.
The U.S. president ended his official engagements with a wreath-laying ceremony at the cenotaph honoring World War veterans at the National Heroes Park. He left the island Thursday evening. Ahead of Mr. Obama's departure, a member of his delegation, the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Energy, Dr. Ernest Moniz, signed a statement of intent with Energy Minister Philip Paulwell. It facilitates the exploration of further areas of technical cooperation in the development and deployment of energy-related technologies.
We have many areas where we can collaborate.
MSTEM has identified the areas of energy conservation and efficiency, modernizing energy infrastructure, developing the renewable energy sector, fuel diversification, and especially in relation to the acquisition of natural gas to our fuel mix, strengthen our governance structure, and the strengthening of that, energy efficiency in public sector buildings, and introducing energy efficiency and renewable energy into also our private industry.
And after hosting President Obama and CARICOM heads of government in Kingston on Wednesday and Thursday, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller arrived in Panama City, Panama early Friday morning to participate in the 7th Summit of the Americas. During the two-day summit, the Prime Minister and her fellow leaders, including President Obama, engaged in discussions around the central theme of prosperity with equity, the challenge of cooperation in the Americas. In other news, government this week signed a 30-year $510 million concession agreement to facilitate the dredging and expansion of the Kingston Container Terminal to accommodate mega ships coming through the Panama Canal. The agreement was signed by the Port Authority of Jamaica and French firm Terminal Link CMA CGM, which will carry out the work in 2 phases, the first scheduled for completion by August. CMA CGM's executive officer Fareed Salem explained why his company saw the venture as a good investment.
We like Jamaica because there is governance in this country, there is security in this country, and it is an equitable environment for employees and employers.
And finally, the enterprise team overseeing the divestment of the island's garbage disposal sites is now reviewing 15 proposals, with particular attention being paid to those with a waste-to-energy component.
The committee will examine all the options to essentially privatize the operation of the landfill. We're starting with Riverton, but we expect to proceed with the others.
And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
This is where we close Jamaica Magazine for today. Be sure to join us when we return tomorrow with more information you can use. Do keep the link. Use our Facebook and Twitter pages, YouTube channel and the GIS website to stay in touch for the very latest government information. On behalf of the entire team here at the GIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson, reminding you to eat well, exercise regularly, and get some rest as you make every day a productive one.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.